Jos anthem.
Yes, this morning, thank you for the strength you have given to us for the attention. As we begin this session now, town hall meeting with students, we beg and ask for your blessings, for your graces, but also for the grace of wisdom and understanding, for concern for one another, and also for attention, especially towards the weak in this community. We pray, O God, that what we are beginning in your name, O God, will be brought to conclusion. We'll make our prayers in the name of Jesus Christ, our Lord. Amen.
Thank you, Father, for this beautiful supplication. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it is my singular honor and privilege to welcome you to this town hall meeting, which I believe it is for the category of these people here with us, principal officers, deans and directors, heads of department, heads of units, union officials, and of course, the Students' Union Government of the University of Jos, and the entire members of the university community. At this juncture, may I introduce the members of management that are here to grace this very occasion to mark the first year in office of our DT Champ Vice Chancellor, Professor Tanko Ishaya. The Vice Chancellor is Professor Tanko Ishaya, who is a fellow of the British Computer Society, a fellow of the Nigerian Computer Society, a digital genius, a seasoned team builder. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Professor Tanko. We also have the Deputy Vice Chancellor Academy in the person of Professor Rahila Blandan Gowon. We also have the first of its kind, a legal luminary, a senior advocate of Nigeria, who has since assumed duty in the person of Professor Joash Amopito. Thank you for coming, sir. The registrar is ably represented by the former registrar, Plateau State University, and a senior deputy registrar, who is also here with us in the person of Mr. Amos Malo. And of course, the bossa is also represented by the senior deputy bossa in the person of Mr. Tumlo Dasa. The librarian is Dr. Thomas Adigun. Ladies and gentlemen, we are also privileged to have the former Deputy Vice Chancellor Administration and former Acting Vice Chancellor of the University of Jos in the person of Professor Gray Gozier Ejikebe, also known as the Godwin Degree. Thank you so very much, sir. On the table also, we have eminent personalities who are also here with us. They are members of the 14th Governing Council. We have Professor Jamila Nasser, who is also here with us. We have Professor Mariam D. Solomon. She's also here with us. Pastor Nuhu Sani, President of the Unijos Alumni Association and member of the Governing Council, is also here with us. I believe we also have Professor Sati Fotcha is here. Okay. All right. Also, as part of this town hall meeting is the Senior Deputy Registrar in the Vice Chancellor's office in the person of Mr. Nansat Numchak. May we also recognize the presence of the Deputy Registrar Information Unit of the Vice Chancellor's office in the person of Mr. Abdullahi. The deans, directors, and heads of department, other senior colleagues, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Like I said, I welcome you all to this town hall meeting this afternoon. I would like to invite the Vice Chancellor himself for the welcome address of this important gathering. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much, MC. The principal officers of the university, our members of the Governing Council here present, our dear former acting vice chancellor, Professor Gray Gozeme Jikeme, to God be the glory, alias. Deans and directors here present, our senior colleagues, professors, our heads of departments, the student union government. We have a right honorable speaker of the House of Parliament of the student here present. Yes, I can see. Thank you all very, very much. I want to, first of all, start by welcoming you to this very short program, I believe. And in thanking you for coming, I want to apologize for the short notice. I know that the notice for this particular event, or actually all the events, went quite late. That happened because at some point, of course, we know that by today, by the grace of God, I have marked 1 year in office. But I was playing or thinking in my mind as to whether there's anything to actually celebrate, for the 1 year in office. But a benefit of hindsight, we thought that even for a meeting actually to thank God for His grace and mercies, it's important that we just come here and start with some prayers. That is why we started with some prayers in the morning. And then I recall in one of my remarks when I was appointed, I promised that I was going to run an inclusive kind of leadership. And inclusivity does not mean that I'm going to include only the members of principal officers, deans and directors and so on. And on that basis, I decided that I was going to be running town hall meetings. So I thought that the activity to mark 1 year in office is a very good candidate for us to start, that kind of process of running town hall meetings. So this is just going to be, by the grace of God, the beginning. Town hall meeting, that is why there are student union government here. I think there are even the caretaker of the student union government here. So that together we reflect upon what happened in the year. Probably, sometimes it's difficult to look at yourself until, even when you look at yourself on the mirror, sometimes it's difficult to see the back side of yourself. But someone else can see the back of yourself, and will be able to say, okay, maybe there's this color here, will help you to fold it appropriately. And I think that is, for me, that is the basis for calling this town hall meeting, so that we can evaluate ourselves as a system and see if there are achievements that we have made collectively. We'll be able to appreciate ourselves and then identify ways and manners in which we will continue, at least for another year, and probably by the grace of God, many other years to come. So I know that we have faced the year with quite a number of challenges, but we thank the Lord Almighty that we are still alive by His grace. And I think that is the beginning, that we are thanking God that He has kept us alive. We know that there are many things that have happened. And indeed, some of our colleagues, senior and junior, through the year, we have lost them. We didn't lose them because of their own doing. God decided in His own mercy to actually call them. So I want to request that we stand, because we have lost a lot of staff, during the past 1 year. That we stand and give a minute silence for our fallen heroes. So let's observe a minute silence. Thank you. May the souls of our dear colleagues, through the mercy of God, rest in perfect peace. Amen. Thank you. The last session was a press briefing, which apparently they said is conventional, that at the end of the year we're supposed to have a press briefing to tell the press, some of the achievement, little achievement that we have made over the past year. I know that majority of us have been here during that time. So rather than repeat all those, I just want to open this meeting by saying that I promise an inclusive and open leadership. We thank God that we are here, and I want to open the meeting by asking that we continue with the program, and I'm asking all of us to be very objective in the assessment of ourselves and what we should be focusing on, or what priorities we should be giving, over the next period of 1 year. I know the year has been very, very challenging, and we have all faced the challenges. And perhaps I should take this opportunity to commend all of us, for being courageous, to have survived, and not only survived, to have been working throughout the 8 months of the period of strike and achieving greatness for the university, yet without pay. And still the federal government is saying, no work, no pay. I have said it everywhere. A university should not be treated like a civil service. But unfortunately in this country, it seems that the country wants to, by force, actually force the university system, despite the act that has given the legal backing of the operation of the university as an autonomous entity. But unfortunately, that is even becoming worse than we have ever experienced. I give you an example. When we discovered that some staff have retired, are still retiring, since 2018, I believe there hasn't been any serious recruitment in the university. Foolishly, I said I wanted to actually start the process of replacing those staff that we have lost and those staff that have retired. So I've asked the bursar to give us we actually did a computation, department by department, faculty by faculty, and I wrote that and I took it. I said I was going to go to the Accountant General of the Federation so that we can have the budget to enable us to commence the process of replacement. Surprise, surprise, I was told that, before you go to the Accountant General, now, which wasn't the case at all. Before you go to Accountant General, number one, you have to write to your council, or you have to have a council approval for those replacements. For me, of course, with the good relationship that we have been working with council, I thought that was not a problem. In fact, that day I wrote to the chairman of council with a list, and the chairman of council that day, gave approval on behalf of council. And then they said, you have to now take that approval to NUC. And NUC will do their vetting and analysis. And then NUC will now write to the Ministry of Education. The minister or the PAMSEC will now forward that to the office of the head of service. And the head of service will now do whatever vetting that they are supposed to be doing before going to the Accountant General. When it goes to Accountant General, that's not the end. There are still a lot of processes. So these processes were just processes that were introduced recently. So we kept the memo. In fact, NUC got the memo. The department in charge took some time. I remember exactly. We were requesting for replacement of 1,005 academic staff and about 500 or something non-academic staff. So I didn't know. Apparently, NUC did their own calculation based on their own metrics. So when recently I decided to begin to follow up, I went to NUC and they said, well, we have actually sent your memo to the head of service. I said, okay, but we didn't have a copy. We didn't know what you have sent. So the director of academic planning said, okay, we'll give you a copy now. And they gave me a copy. And when they gave me a copy, I looked at what they've recommended for NHS to the head of service. 100 academic staff and 22 non-academic staff. I asked why. And they said, well, they have their own. I'm saying this so that we know that whenever we are going to be doing something, so that we know the implications. And they said, Prof, you had 90% accreditation. So you don't need staff. Yes. So apparently, they are doing the evaluation based on a course-by-course basis. So according to them, any course that has secured full accreditation don't need any staff. I argued. I said, okay, I'm going to the executive secretary. The ES was not around. I said, okay, the best thing that you should do is to go to the head of service and request for what they call establishment. I don't know what establishment is, but anyway, I went, and apparently we now have a desk officer. It's like almost every agency now. Universities have desk officers. You have a desk officer, and the desk officer, we have been waiting for you to come. I'll cut the long story short, but I just wanted to paint a picture in one particular aspect, not to talk of the issue of our withheld salaries. And I want to say that even at the meeting of Committee of Vice Chancellors and Pro-Chancellors, some of us were happy that Vice Chancellors were also not being paid. Because in some cases they made mistakes. I think they made a mistake and paid me the first month and put myself as SANU. So I called them, I said, and put me as SANU, my association. I called them and I sent IPPIS, I said, I'm not SANU, I'm ASU. So make sure you correct your records. And then they corrected the records, they stopped my salary, I will still be ASU. So we continued to face some of those challenges. But the reason why I'm saying, despite these challenges, we are still committed, we are still resolute, because we want to build the future nation. So I want to appreciate each and every one of you for your sacrifices and for the commitment. Thank you, and God bless you. So, please be open. I don't want to go round on what maybe some of the things that we think we have achieved. We want to hear from It's a town hall meeting. Let us tell ourselves the truth on whatever area that you feel we should talk to ourselves, so that we'll be able to look for best way forward as far as the country, as far as the university is concerned. We want to an open and transparent system. Thank you. I also want to use, before I continue, use this opportunity to thank ASU, UNIJOS branch, for continuing to understand with us. Because when we came on board, there were issues. They had already withdrawn services for postgraduate activities. But we pleaded with them and made promises. Unfortunately, because of the strike and many other things, we have not been able to fulfill all of those promises. But they still understand. So I want to thank ASU and particularly the leadership of ASU for that. And indeed all the unions for the cooperation and the collegiality that we have enjoyed. We pray that we continue to enjoy that understanding. Thank you. So, MC, we can now go.
Thank you very much, Vice Chancellor, sir. Like we've earlier mentioned, this town hall meeting is for contributions from the members of the university community, which includes the principal officers, deans and directors, heads of departments, heads of units, union officials that I believe are here, and the student union government. On this note, I would like to invite the principal officers to begin with. The principal officers, please, their contributions.
Okay, principal officers. Principal officers are saying that they have already been contributing. So, yeah, and indeed, I'm speaking on behalf of the management. So we are expecting the input, evaluation, assessment, from the various units. So, MC, I think you can start from these and directors. Thank you.
The Vice Chancellor, the Principal of the University of Jos, Principal Officers that are present here, or former Vice Chancellors, Council members, deans and directors, students of the University of Jos, my colleagues, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I want to congratulate the Vice Chancellor for the feat that we've achieved so far. You became the Vice Chancellor at the most difficult time. Every day when I looked at you, and I've been privileged to attend some meetings to resolve certain issues that are very stunning. Every day I pity you for carrying that load on your head. And even operating without money. Having on board, there were no students, no money from government, nothing coming from anywhere. But yet, you have strived, working together with the principal officers and all the staff of the university, and we are where we are today. I want to congratulate you, sir, for your achievement, and all of us for this achievement. I think this is very remarkable to note that despite the difficulties, within 1 year, you have written the name of the University of Jos on the global map. You have gone to places with the name of the university. You have secured grants, the name of the university. Research collaborations have been going on with other institutions around the world. And I think it is well commendable. We also want to say thank you and commend you for the commitment you have shown and for your determination to move the university forward. Very sincerely, I have seen that in you. You came with a passion to change the direction of this university on many issues that have been lacking. And I believe that you will get the support of all the teams and directors. You will get the support of all staff to be able to reach where you want to take the University of Jos. I remember you were always hammering on the visibility of the university. And I'm grateful and we thank you because we are making impact, sir. And we assure you that we will work assiduously to be sure that the University of Jos is seen everywhere. I want to call on my colleagues and our students that are here. For us to be seen globally, there are a lot of things in this university, especially research, that are very, we have achieved a lot in research, but most of us are hidden our work. Our work is not exposed, it's not seen anywhere. And I want to call on all of us, staff and students, to make sure that wherever we go and whatever we do, the name of the University of Jos should be first. Many of us use the Yahoo Mail and the Gmail, promoting Gmail and promoting Yahoo Mail. Of recent, as far as last year, the email of the University of Jos has been doing very well, very, very active. Anywhere I go today, I'm asked to give an email in the University of Jos email that I give. And I receive responses, and I want to call on all of us to do the same. I know 2 years back, we used to complain, you send, it was not active, but I'm not the director of ICT, but I have used it, and I'm using it, and it's very active. I want to call on all of us to make sure we use that, so that the visibility of the university can be increased. And I want to talk to my colleagues on research publications. It is important. Don't just throw your publications to any journal. There are journals that are recognized all over the world, and our researchers can go there. Let's not underrate ourselves. Let's not fear. Send your journals and your publications to the high impact journals that are all over, and that will improve our visibility too. Though my vice principal said we were 20-something last year, but I think UNIJOS still did well. It was just because the visibility was not very well seen. But I believe that this year's ranking we will definitely improve what we have seen so far. And so mine was just to commend you and to call on our colleagues. We must work together and support the vice chancellor and the principal officers to see that we move this university forward. In fact, we need to appreciate our staff, colleagues, academic and non-academic. We are working on an empty stomach. We don't have salary, but people are teaching, sir. I've gone to classes and I've seen people, colleagues teaching, rendering their services, and we commend each other for this that we are doing. I'm sure posterity will know that we have done something, and I believe that those salaries will be paid, sir. We just believe that I have that faith that when they will get it. Once more, congratulations, sir, and all of us. Thank you, may God bless us in Jesus' name.
Thank you very much. Is there any contribution from the directors or deans? Okay.
Mr. Vice Chancellor.
Mr. Vice Chancellor, good afternoon, and to all of my colleagues, all protocols observed. One of the encouraging things that I heard you say this morning, which I learned the day it happened, was the fact that an external examiner examined one of our students from Lagos, and we were able to finally take advantage of technology that you have brought to this university many years ago. So we want to congratulate you and the postgraduate school for finally moving into the whatever century we're in. I've been away for most of the past year doing a sabbatical at a university in the U.S., and so I may not be quite as familiar with all the things that are happening. But when I got to that university, I've taught all my life, so teaching is no problem, but Canvas just about killed me. Canvas is a internet system like Moodle or some of those other things. And I had to get a 23-year-old graduate assistant to help me figure out all of that. And I discovered that, let me confess for my generation, we are way behind in taking advantage of the internet. And the organization and the discipline and the professionalism and the teaching that takes place through taking advantage of internet tools. And so I would like for you to use your IT skills and the big whip God has given to you, being on that seat, to help bring the rest of us in line with the way modern universities are taking advantage. To start with, simple things like registration. The way we do exam results is we could allow the computers to do 90% of all this work that we do. And I just appeal to you and to my colleagues to, now that we have someone in the Vice Chancellor's seat who really understands and has been there, let's take advantage of this opportunity to digitize our university and our classrooms. And if you can lead us much further down the road than you were able to do as the director of the IT center, if you can help push us in that direction, our students, the younger ones, the older ones won't like it because gray-headed people, we don't like these things very well, but the younger generations will rise up and call you blessed. God bless you.
Thank you very much, sir. Any more contributions from the deans and directors that are here with us? Please, one more.
Thank you very much. Vice Chancellor sir, I also join my colleagues in congratulating you. I just want to say a few things, consolidating on what others have said. Now, I just want to remind you that when you came in, you said something. It's not going to be business as usual. So now I notice there are things that are critically in need of attention. We now have to get or have something in place concerning quality assurance. You know that's a best practice. I've not seen it here in the university. So that we don't even have to say we have XY staff that we may need to reconfirm his or her certificates. Also, with regards to the IT, I don't know if it is possible to have that services in the faculties where students or staff can make use of it, maybe to deliver lectures as when due. That's one aspect. Then
we need to also do something about our reward system. What I saw during the induction course at the veterinary medicine, I think is something what we can do, and beyond that. When we are able to do that, it will spur or not only encourage students, but staff. I know that in our system here, if a staff or a student in particular has something, they will leave the system, and when they come back and go through the process, that prize is not always given to them. I think I'm a victim. 2 of my children got that. They never got the prize from the university. It's bad. We have to recognize people accordingly so that it will ginger them to do the best. Right now, we have problems concerning infrastructural facilities, and I'm happy that at least we have them in place. Kindly find how we can share these facilities that are in deficit. Not only that, we will now have to look inward. Let's be responsible and hold people responsible. Students, I want to appeal to you, those facilities, especially in lecture halls, when you break them, I remember in my secondary school, you pay so that we can replace it. Since what we have as government in Nigeria, not even bloody care whether we enjoy our stay here or not. We must ask people to replace what they have damaged. Then maybe it will teach us to respect or handle those things. We call it handle with care. We have excellent facilities in place. Let's do something so that we don't compromise, because if you are going to meet base practices, these facilities must have to be properly handled. Sustenance or maintenance, sustainability is what we ought to be looking at. Finally, sir, I belong to the Faculty of Environment. Let's not just have people giving contract to come and clean. When you come in now, they start cleaning. What I saw in the UK is that as soon as you are closing, those places will be clean so that when you come in the next day, you just start by 8 or whatever. But here, I know when I come, I have to wait for 1 or 2 hours, so I don't even come 8. Because I will come, it's dusty. If you're asthmatic, it's a problem. Those who have been given the responsibility to do the cleaning of structures, we have to do it well. Well done for all that you've been doing so far. Congratulations.
Thank you, the Vice Chancellor, members of the University Management, the rest of the university community. I'm very happy with what Professor McCain has said. And that's actually what the situations of the universities in the world are. And as rightly mentioned by the Director of Academic Planning, we are working collaboratively to ensure that we move the university to as much level as we can, constrained by what technology and funds. But I think the University of Jos is beginning to do quite a lot of this. I would want to start by agreeing that part of what will raise our visibility, which we've started with Google Scholar, just to give us an update. The last time I mentioned we were about 8,000 academic staff, but we have moved to 900. I think the target is about 1,700 or thereabout. So we can see that there's still a number that we need to meet up. Not only that, actually the demands will grow. There's what we call now the persistent digital identifier that all researchers in the world are using. And it's called ORCID, and we are going to introduce that. Because for every of the journals you want to publish on now, they will be requesting that you have an ORCID ID. So what every university start to get that. We're going to start that immediately in conjunction with the library. The library staff, you walk into that. If you have issues, we will help you to get a digital identifier for your publications, regardless of the journal that you are going to publish in the world. That is a standard that is going on. We've commenced actually, since we resumed from the strike, a training session of 4 hours every week, and we're doing that until we go on break. And we're hoping that we'll publish that training again for staff to join, and that will begin to address the deficit you mentioned, Professor McCain. We're going to start with Google, we're going to do Moodle, we're going to do quite a bit. However, we also know that the academic staff will need support, so we're going to also have technical support to be able to do some of this work for you, because you may not be able to do everything, but make sure we provide the technology that you are going to do that. And hopefully, I'm aware that the university has gotten TED Fund zonal intervention, and that entire money is going for the expansion of the technology that we have on campus. So you will see improvement. You will see improvement on bandwidth for internet connection. I'm aware in that money they are even considering that you have internet up to your house. I don't know how they want to achieve that, but that's hopefully what TED Fund wants to fund, to see that you have data up to home, so that you can carry that work. I was telling the trainees, so far we have trained about 70 academic staff, and hopefully before the end of the year we will have trained about 150. We'll open up, we'll just check your university email, you will see advertisement for this training. There are 3 of them. We have what we are doing, what we call the beginner class. We assume everybody is a beginner, so we are starting with beginner class. You must graduate from beginner after writing the exams. And then you go to intermediate, you write the exam, then you go to expert. For each of the stages, there's a certificate, hopefully. But what we're also doing is to ensure, and we will need cooperation of teaching staff, especially on the issue of using technology for purpose of managing the students on campus, from registration to graduation. That means when they register, we're having data on them. We should be able to go back to that same system to impute the results of the exam we have conducted, and go back to that to properly create a history and be able to generate transcript. We're hoping that before this administration ends, that within 48 hours, a student should be able to obtain his transcript. That is the plan, and we're hoping on that. I have visited most of the faculties except social science before the strike. We have discussed a lot of things, and I'm expecting to see these responses from the faculty. We need to have data on the faculties. What is the faculty doing? Who are responsible for the duties and the things that, what researches are the faculty doing? So that we can publish that on the website. We said we will do that for now. We will carry that load for now until when we know that the faculties have people that can do that continuously and more rapidly. But for now, if we have the data, we will do that population. So that, because if you see the faculties, you go, you click, you don't see anything. We don't have the data. I have appealed to the faculty. We have also installed a journal management system where I said that all journals published by this university, we can host it. Let it be at the unijobs.eg.ng domain name with the name of the journal. And I can assure you that will not only improve the rating of the university, but it gives credence to the journal itself that is being published by a university. That you have a journal and you find out that you have to access it at a .com. A .com is a commercial service, it's a company, and every other person can have it with just as little as $5 you can register a .com domain. So it does not really hold water. So we're appealing that we need to all agree that we want to do this. It's going to be tasking. I will assure you that it's going to be taxing, but for a period. After that, I think the sale will be much more smoother. So that's what we're hoping to do in ensuring that technology persisted in the university. You will be seeing them. We will try and introduce them gradually. We won't lump ourselves because that's also another issue. If we say we'll bring everything in one full swoop, it will be difficult. So we'll try and introduce this gradually as we go on. Just as Professor McKen said, somebody asked me last week when we went for technology in teaching and learning organized by Huawei of China. They asked us what we will do with all professors. I was like, we'll just wait until they retire. For those that cannot catch up, we won't harass them. But I think they can also learn the 2 things before they retire. I think that is important. So thank you very much, sir. That's from the ICT Directorate.
Mr. Vice Chancellor says, all protocols to be observed. I also want to join the university in congratulating you, sir, for this achievement in 1 year of 8-month strike. It hasn't been easy, but we want to say thank you, sir, for your doggedness. I just want to make some quick observations and please, when you mentioned the issue of non-teaching staff and NUC were saying that all your programs had accreditation, I want to say that even in my directorate, we have close to 100 staff that have retired and have passed away in the past 5 years, and there has been no replacement. If classes, the working environment is not conducive, I don't know how the lecturers will work, and then how there will be accreditation. So to now say replacement of staff has to do with accreditation, I don't know where that came from. During the period of strike, I would come to the office, everywhere is dusty, and the grasses were not cut. I couldn't stand it. I had to plead with some of my staff to come to work, to water the flowers, to cut the grasses, and to clean, so that I can work. Other than that, I cannot work. The environment was not conducive. So it's very important. So we want to plead with you, sir, in this argument, that non-teaching staff are also highly essential to give a conducive environment so that the academic staff too could teach, and even the students can enjoy the facilities that they're learning under. I know that there's issue of lack of finances. We are hampered by lack of finances to be able to execute our work. We have requests from faculties, we have requests from students' hostels that we cannot meet due to lack of finances. I know it's beyond management, but I want to appeal that probably something is done. The issue of light in this building, diesel has become something else. So to run the generator, it's a difficult problem. So we want to appeal that probably every dean's office and every principal officer's office, and maybe it will go down to HOD, should have solar system so that the place is not grounded. You cannot work on diesel or petrol anymore. So we want the university to think about introducing that in order to assist the work environment. I also want to appeal on the issue of security. Security is everybody's business. During the 8 months of strike, the entire university was vandalized. Very sad. The beautiful street lights that were put up under the needs assessment were completely vandalized. Very, very disheartening. I don't know what we can do about that, but security is everybody's business. I want to appeal that if things are going wrong, I've learned a lot. As we sat here, I took notes and I said to myself, me too, I'll start having town hall meetings in my directory. It's something to learn, because nobody has a monopoly of knowledge. You need people to help you. I remember very well when I came on board newly, one day Professor Monfort walked into my office and I was really taken aback. I got up, I jumped up, he said, "No, sit down, young girl." He said, "I don't like the state of the roads in front of the chaplaincy. That's why I came." I said, "Prof, you would have called me." He said, "No, that's why I came to tell you." So I said, "Sir, it's the issue of budget. There isn't money for repairing the road." He said, "No, sit down. Let's see how we do. I'll go with you to the Vice Chancellor and we will sort this matter out." And he did. And in fact, this is seeing him, said, "Madam, how much do you need to fix the road?" And that money was given. This was a former Vice Chancellor bringing himself down to my office. My point is that we can all help each other. You can use your office, if you see something wrong, you can use your office to help, to make the thing right. So I want to plead that we should take window dressing from you. What you're doing now is highly commendable. I'm learning from it so that I can also improve. A bottom-up approach, I want to appeal, sir, that when new programs are being introduced, fiscal facility should be carried along. Sometimes I come to Senate in attendance and find out that the program has been approved, curriculum has been approved, employment has been done, and they told fiscal facilities provide space. I say, from where? So it should be a bottom-up approach, right from inception, sir. When a new program is being planned, wherever it is, whether at departmental level or whatever, we should be carried along so that we can begin to give advice on space. Is this space available? We don't finish providing the program and then we're called to provide space. Space takes a lot of time, a lot of money to be able to provide. So we appreciate that bottom-up approach. I'm glad students are here. I want to appeal to students to police the hostels. You treat the hostels as if it was somebody's space. We're all students here, including the Vice Chancellor, and we know how we treated the hostels. They were our homes. I want to appeal to you to police the hostels too. The way the hostels are vandalized, whenever you leave, nobody can stay inside. During our time, you leave hostel every end of academic session so that the hostels can be fumigated, the hostels can be repaired, the hostels can be fixed. But now you stay in the same room, you become the chairman up till the 5 years you graduate, and the whole place is vandalized. So we want to appeal that that system be restored so that the hostels are better taken care of, and if possible, are outsourced. There is no way this university can maintain these hostels. It's not possible. You cannot maintain these hostels to the standard that these hostels ought to be maintained. So management should seriously consider the issue of outsourcing the hostel. I'm glad my dean, environmental, talked about reward system. It's very important to also have a discipline system where people do things and get away with it. Does not allow them to have accountability. There should be accountability. There should be a discipline system where a case should be decided on time and the right discipline given. It will make people to sit up. So just like you have a carrot and stick, as there is reward, there should also be there should also be punishment. And then lastly, sir, I don't know how we will improve our relationship with our neighbors, that they will cross the road and turn the front of the university into a refuse. I mean, it aches my heart. Every day I'm coming, if they turn the university into a refuse dump, it's not as if they're even living here. They actually cross the road and the university has become the refuse dump. I've been thinking, I don't know, I've told my people we're trying to sit together and see what advice we can give to management. But maybe there's a way the university management can think of liaising with the community so that this practice of turning the front of our university into a refuse dump will be stopped. Thank you, sir.
Dean, thank you very much. Okay, I should come this way. No problem. No problem. Thank you very much for the privilege. I want to join others to congratulate you on this 1-year anniversary. Wishing you good health, long life, prosperity, and developmental strides that you intend to give to this university. 2 things. I want to, arising from the Fiscal Facilities Director's comments on security, our gates are not well manned by our security personnel. Some of the gates, sometimes you go, there's nobody there. And we wonder what is in their minds. Sometimes they will be there, maybe one person, but busy with his handsets. He doesn't even know who is passing, who is going in or going out of the environment. I remember we had talked about an outfit so that we can easily identify our security personnel. But still we've not been able to achieve that. So it is important that we identify our security personnel, because talking about vandalization, we wouldn't know who is a security man, and everybody is just moving around. So I think we need to look at that very seriously. And then, Last week, we spent 2 days trying to get some fuel, and we lost hours just to get fuel. I know that the university used to operate an oil pump around the Bauchi campus. I don't know whether it is possible to revive that, so that staff can, when we have scarcity like this, staff can just drive there and get some fuel into their cars. And that will help us a great deal, because you queue for 2 days, you don't get fuel, you waste time, and then at the end of the day, you go back feeling very sad and bad about that. So that is one aspect. Then thirdly, the issue of water. Particularly those of us that have laboratories, like in the Bauchi Road campus. We've not had water for some time now, and we are preparing for accreditation for some of the programs, and water is key to run our laboratories. Even for daily practicals, we don't have water running for some time. So if that can be, let's have some kind of permanent solution to the perennial water supply to our departments, and then extending that to our quarters. Thank God you've lived in that quarters. You know the challenges we have with regards potable water supply. The kind of water we use in that quarters. I don't know about the Narabuta quarters, but for Bauchi Road quarters, it's not good. We continue to dig our wells, and the water can be muddy. We find it very difficult to cope. I'm looking at the director because it's her responsibility to help us. Yes, and the roads. In fact, our shock absorbers have suffered. We keep on changing shock absorbers almost every year. Our tires are worn out. So please, then even the houses, please just help us. We've written and we've complained. The environment is not too. You can clean your immediate environment, but the larger environment is an eyesore. Soakaways are broken and nobody to fix. So we've complained. There are many things we can handle, but there are major ones with the kind of salary we receive. I don't think anybody can be able to build a new Soakaway. So please help us. If we can address some of these things to help us, to improve our productivity, because we'll be happier and we'll put in our best. Thank you very much.
Thank you so very much. They jumped you.
I want to join others in congratulating the Vice Chancellor for this 1 year and the progress made so far. I don't want to repeat what others have said, but just to add one thing to it in terms of security. I think there are a lot of thefts that go into offices. I've been a victim. You just walk out, the next thing your laptop is gone. I want to suggest, and if we're considering things about solar system too, CCTVs should be other things that will come. It helps a lot. And thank God, one of our halls that is under construction, I was able to see a number of them. It will serve as a deterrent, or something happens to go back and be able to identify whoever has invaded or broken into any of the offices. It will go a long way in augmenting or supplementing what the physical securities are doing, and possibly even to identify those who did not come to work, because they should be able to patrol, they should be able to identify who are on duty, and be able to locate whoever has embedded into a structure, an office, and a building. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. With your kind permission, sir, I would like to invite the former Vice Chancellor. He has something to say as well. Professor Gray.
Vice Chancellor, thank you, sir, for the opportunity to say something. In the last regime, each time we had problems around encroachment. Professor Tanko Ishaya would suggest there's something you are getting wrong. You should be having interaction with the community. Make them perceive, that's perception, perceive the university as a friend. Kind of surprise. No, you've been hatching that thing for long. So, congratulations. And he has also told us that it will not be one shot. It will be continuous. That's true. Because here is a place where we do something today, they clap for us, the next day it fizzles out. Thank you, sir, for assuring us right from the beginning that it wouldn't be what? One shot. Even if you go to the Bible, if 2 or 3 or more would agree concerning the thing, our Creator will be there. Today we've had very productive, lively exchange of ideas, very fruitful. I will pray that the fruits emanating from this interaction will grow, abide, and lead to further growth and development of the University of Jos. The feedback he has gotten, must be put into, after feedback, for every trained teacher here, after delivering, talking for long, there should be feedback. You know your strengths, you know your weaknesses, and you use them. Our ICT person, thank you, you're a good friend, but there's something I just want to tell you. Expertise, or lack of expertise, in the use of the computer and internet, that's the way we look at it, the area of psychology. It's not all that a generational problem, sir. It could be, depending on how foolhardy people are. How many years ago I can't recall when I was the head of sociology, not even when I was a dean. We had some money from consultancy. The young people there said they wanted the money, HOD, so they can buy cars. I said, no, I bought computers for them. But to my surprise, 2 weeks you go in, you see the place, it's still dusty, showing that the colleague has not used it. If you want to disgrace yourself, no matter your age, go and study in all those high-tech countries, where you come up with posters, presentations. You compose your poster with segments and so on, and then do presentation. To cut it long story short, I promised my Vice Chancellor that there are things that are not quite right at home. That's my department. And that I will go and put things together in terms of PG work. Now, if you think I'm lying, after the suspension of the strike, I attended the first meeting in the Department of Sociology. The first problem we had was that there was no light to present the results. No light. And I noted that. But later, by chance, there was to project results. And I told them, sir, I said I'll send for you because they're a friend. So that you can educate them, enlighten them to be up to date in terms of the use of computer and the internet. Starting with the fact that Yahoo address as challenged by a student here, I took that to my department. I told the HMB, you are seeing that, isn't it? Yes. When we keep using those domains that are not highly visible, highly impactful, your input will not be captured. So we get this young man that you are a friend, that's what I told him. The faculty may have an arrangement, but charity begins at home. Sociology department is my domain for now until I leave. And this is it. So when they call upon you, please cooperate.
they need your help. Many people do not know what we're talking about as Senate. Or maybe the message is not taken to them the way it should be. So, sir, thank you, Vice Chancellor. Continue what you're doing. The Lord is a strength. And we are doing make it prosper. Permit me to say, to God be
Thank you very much, sir, former acting Vice Chancellor, Professor Gray was in the GCMA. I would like to crave your indulgence that we'll allocate just about 5 minutes, at least, because we have a long list here. We're expecting others to contribute as well, please. So, the heads of departments, heads of units.
The Vice Chancellor, I skip the protocols and stand on the existing protocols. H. Bami is my name, Faculty of Veterinary Medicine. I would still hammer on ICT because it made life very easy for some of us. The ICT director, I think there is a lot of work to be done by the ICT. Anytime I see us using papers and papers and papers, I always feel sad. Because we're in the 21st century. Vice Chancellor waits for 2-3 hours, maybe to see the Vice Chancellor or other officers in the university. In one of my former universities, where I worked, as far back as many years ago, the Vice Chancellor, the professor doesn't need to go and wait. You see the Vice Chancellor from your laptop. And the Vice Chancellor responds, why do you have to go there and sit down physically? Because we are not maximizing the use of technology. I want to take a leave. I don't write any physical letter. I don't use a paper. Technology has made life easy. From my portal, I can take my leave. I have a complaint to the university. From my portal, every staff has a web page on the university website. And every staff has a portal. When I arrived nearly 3 or 4 years ago, I saw the staff signing a physical attendance. It was very funny and dramatic for me. On this, every staff signs his attendance from his laptop. The time you arrive and the time you leave if you want. So, there is a lot technology can do for us that we are not maximizing the use. All these memos, I know it's not only Unijos, I think maybe it's all over the country, right? At VTH Polo, we lose everything because we're using paper. Do you know that one of the former universities I worked to this day, my record on my portal is still there because it is online. And it has a backup in the clouds. If they want, they can leave it there, it will stay forever. The internet ICT technology is more secured than those files and pieces of papers that we pile up and we think that they are reliable. No. Internet cloud is more reliable because it can last the next 100, 200 years if the world is still existing. So I think that ICT should help us to make maximum use of technology. While people are struggling with PowerPoint presentations, the world has gone beyond PowerPoint. In some places, they don't use PowerPoint again. It is outdated. PowerPoint is already more than 30 years old. You know that? They are no more using it. It's outdated. If you go to use it, people will just laugh at you. So, I think we have a lot to do. I'm hammering on this. ICT is taking no tango. We have a digital VC. We're talking of ORCID. More than 10 years ago, I had ORCID. More than 10 years ago. With the, is it the barcode? You just bring your phone and you take scan it. You will see my CV and my publications and everything about it. We just scan. So people prepare their, what we call complimentary card now. They don't put any details, they just put a barcode there. So I think we can make, there is even research ID. More than 10 years ago, we should be using these things. They will help us a lot. But probably I should, because of time, go to maybe a few other things before maybe others talk. Knowledge transfer programs. University of Jos, we should start working on those things. We do research, we make discoveries, we don't transfer the knowledge to the community. We should be having a program where we do a KTP, a knowledge transfer program. For example, I was very impressed. One of the professors from architecture. That is something the community can benefit from. If we can transfer that knowledge. For us in my field, there is a lot of knowledge we acquire from research, from experience. We can transfer it to the community. In a knowledge transfer program, the university can organize it. The other thing is the visibility of the university. Google Scholar, Scopus, and the rest of it. This is more than 1 year that we started working on some of those things. I'm surprised that not everybody is still on this. I would suggest that we have something like a task force, a committee, that enforces the implementation. That committee will go from faculty to faculty, department to department, organize workshops where necessary,